Hi, Sweetpea.
Hi, Mummy Bear.
How are you?
I'm doing all right. I had a small wobble back in the previous week, and I was really, really down. I just kind of was in bed all day in my PJs.
Yeah, so
trying
it's never
to
a good thing
revise.
to do, is it?
No, it isn't. And I was just trying to revise, and then you just said to me, right, go for a walk. Right now, I called you, and you said, get outside.
To the garden centre.
To the garden centre, which we have found out that I can actually see from my apartment.
The roof off the garden centre.
I can just see the tip of the roof,
Yeah.
which is quite amazing. I think that it's meant to be.
It's not meant to be all sad and miserable, though.
No, exactly. It also happened to be just a grey day, and you know what grey days are like in cities. It's just grey.
Everything's grey.
Anyway, so I forced myself outside, even though I just thought I looked miserable and everything. I went to the garden centre. And immediately, as soon as I got into this garden centre, it's a really nice garden centre. It's amazing.
It's the nicest garden centre I've ever visited, short of places like Burford Garden Centre, is it called? That amazing one. It's all very expensive, but it's amazing.
So expensive.
But yeah, this is a lovely one.
It's gorgeous, and it has all its different sections. It has even like a gardening book section. Has obviously has the patisseries and the cookies and all they have all like
yumminess.
All the yummy section.
Is it all organic?
Past that, yeah, all organic, exactly. Yeah, I kind of have to just walk past it at high speed and go, don't look, don't look, don't look, because if I look, I'm doomed. I'm getting a load of them. Anyways, I am a student. I'm on a tight budget, but I decided to
blow the budget.
Spend more than I would on my weekly shopping on this baby jewel orchid, also called, I think, a leopard orchid. And do look it up because it's absolutely stunning. It caught my eye.
Beautiful.
And I've never seen anything so beautiful before. And it just smiled at me. And I was like, I've got to get that.
It's the foliage, isn't it? It doesn't have a flower on it, but the most beautiful foliage.
I mean, you can get a flower when it's slightly mature, but it's kind of a very insignificant white flower compared to the foliage, which is almost iridescent. It's stunning. It looks like you've kind of blown glitter onto it. Yeah. It's quite amazing. Anyway, so I bought this little tiny thing.
Clutching it between your hands.
Clutching it.
Smiling at it all the way home.
And immediately I was better. I then had I got back onto my revision in the afternoon, got through it.
Yeah.
And I told you, I said that was so helpful. And now I've got this little smiling thing that's always smiling at me whenever I wake up because it's in my bedroom on the windowsill.
Your change in mood was dramatic. It was really quite something.
But it's quite amazing.
What are the lessons learnt from that?
Don't lounge in bed. Get out. Go for a walk.
Get outside. Do
and
not
go to the garden centre.
hang out in your gym jams.
No,
that's a slippery slope, Sweetpea.
It's a very slippery slope. It's just because in the mornings I have lectures only in the afternoons. So in the mornings I get up and I stay in my dressing gown, which we now call my house coat because I just wear it all the time.
Such an old woman.
I'm not an old woman. Anyways, I wear it all the time and then I just sit there revising. It's really comfy, and like in the winter it's coming into autumn and it's cold. And so when it's all dark outside, you're just like, oh, in your house.
I think for people of my generation, if you cast your mind back to Men Behaving Badly, this sitcom that used to be on with, was he Neil Morrissey and Martin Clunes? And I think they used to hang around in their gym jams and a house coat to their dressing gown.
To them?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a compliment or such rudity. I don't know.
Or perhaps the young ones. That's... You don't know how rude I'm being with that, do you? Because you don't know the young ones.
I'm just looking at you very perplexed.
I'm glad that you were able to turn that around, and you did it by yourself, more or less. And you found that your mood changed very quickly, and it's so important to remember that when you're in the depths of despair, to know that there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Just like the good times never last forever, the bad times never last forever either. So you just need to recognize what you went through. And so when you get that feeling again, you just say to yourself, well, I know this is finite.
Yep.
And I'm going to go to the garden centre and everything's going to be okay.
Exactly. Go to the garden centre. If you have one near you, just go there. It so helps. I think another thing also I found was when I started eating better food correctly, that helps with my mood swings.
Well, that's a no-brainer, isn't it?
It's kind of a no-brainer. I just know that it's easy to forget it. And like most of my friends are eating a huge amount of pasta at the moment because obviously it's so cheap. So cheap. You can bulk buy, you just shove that in and immediately you've got a huge amount of food.
Yeah.
And I had pasta at the beginning and I just always felt really bloated because I'm not moving most of the time because I'm just spending my days revising. So I found that now kind of batch cooking huge tray bakes of veg.
Lots of colours. Basically stay away from the beige food.
The beige food is bad.
Keep away from beige.
Beef are bad.
For me, empty nest syndrome is coming with pros and cons.
Yes.
So
I'm getting updates of you go, I could do this without you now.
For a mother, it's like having a limb removed. But, you know, despite those overriding feelings of loss and grief and despair and, you know, the perpetual angst, I'm coming to terms with it and I'm doing pretty well. There are a few pros. For example, I only need to run the dishwasher every other day.
Oh, well, that's very nice.
I can smugly fit the weekly food shop into just one basket. I don't need to get a wonky wheeled trolley. So that's great. I'm in and out like a rat up a drain pipe.
I can imagine.
Most efficient food shop you've ever seen. In, bosh, out.
Yeah, you're already like so efficient when it comes to food shops because you hate shopping. Like
I'm head down.
you are like head down. Don't talk to my mummy when she comes past you in the grocery store.
Also, don't talk to me after a shop if they've rearranged all the aisles.
Oh my gosh, you will rant until the end of the world.
Why do they do that?
I usually just pretend I've got stuff to do.
Go to your happy place. So there's another pro for you for moving out. You don't have to put up with my rants about shopping
Although
aisles.
I usually get video calls and then I just get your forehead and your eyes going.
The washing machine also, it's not getting so hammered, so that's great. That's hopefully going to extend its life by a few years.
Yes, yeah.
But most importantly, do you remember at the beginning of the year I said my New Year's resolution was to really work on my sleep?
Yeah, you did. And then that never worked.
Really sort my sleep hygiene out and start getting proper sleep.
Yes.
And there are a number of factors that have contributed to it not being good. And since you've moved out, I do actually sleep a lot better. And I think what it is like all mums, from the moment your baby's born, you sleep with one ear open. So you hear every single noise in the night because you're perpetually worried about your child and what's happening to them.
It's so annoying for the child because like I used to love getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning because I like to get up before the sun. And then I'd have to creep, not just creak, making creaks everywhere. I had to really creep around. Obviously, the dog made a scattering noise, and then you're awake. And so it was impossible to do anything without you hearing it.
Yeah, I'm alert and firing on all cylinders throughout the night. Whereas now I'm sleeping a lot deeper. Yeah. I'm really experiencing good night's sleep now. It used to be sort of 80-20. It was 80% bad nights and 20% good nights. I would say that's reversed now. Yeah. So the bad nights are only 20% of the time, possibly less.
That's so brilliant.
It feels great and it's making a difference to work. It's making a difference to mood. Everything is so much better. I also, I don't have to wake to an alarm.
No. School alarms.
That feels better as well. School alarms, doing the dog walk in the dark.
Must be bliss.
Yeah. One day, Sweetpea.
One day.
So there are some positives. You've also been doing your gratitudes, haven't you? So you'll every day send me, whilst you're on the bus, 5 gratitudes. I'll send you 5 back. And I think that really helps as well.
Yeah, I think that hugely helps. It's like you're forced to think of nice things. Yeah. Like sometimes I've been in the bus and I'm like, it is grey, it is miserable, I am cold, I'm going to lectures, I don't want to do this. But there's a tiny piece of sun. I'm grateful for the tiny piece of sun. Yeah. I'm grateful for Taskmaster last night because Taskmaster is really good at the moment. Yeah. I'm grateful for watching God Knows World.
Yes.
All those kind of things. So I'm finding the little things, and it
There
really
are
helps.
good things out there. And talking of Gardener's World, which is really the purpose of this.
Really kind of why we're chatting.
Go on a little bit of a tangent.
No, I think it's important.
It is really great to have it back. And the reason it wasn't on last week, Sweetpea, is because it was the Women's Rugby World Cup. So that's a pretty worthy cause, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, that's such a worthy cause.
And guess who won?
England?
England won.
Oh my
They were against Canada in the final. They won 33-13. So it's been an amazing year for women's
England.
sports, isn't it, this
fist
year?
Pump.
Team sports fist pump.
Well
done. I'm so impressed with the girls. Absolutely fantastic. But Sweetpea in the garden, do you want to hear how things are going this end?
Yeah, how are they doing?
Patty pans galore. They're just everywhere. So 0 courgettes, but patty pans are awesome.
Patty pans are just the best.
Tomatoes are lovely. The ones I really like that you've done are the ones that are kind of a heart shape. So they're not the sort of squat wide ones. They're not the long plum ones. They're like a little heart. The flavour from those are sensational. You have to find out what they're called, because those need to go in the ground next year.
Oh, that's going to be hard, because I just kind of
chuckle the packets.
I like those. Oh, I like those. Oh, I like those.
I'm sure I'll recognise it if I see them again.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Now, Sweetpea, do you want some, what do we call it? No way news?
No way news.
No way news. Well, we were contacted by the charity-owned Sustainability Centre, who thought we might be interested in their courses. And largely because, or certainly in part because, a friend of the show, Tom Nielsen, who was on Chit-Chats.
Yes, lovely guy.
I think it was in January this year. Such a nice guy. Well, he's giving a course called Creating Wilder Gardens, which is going to be run next year on the 4th of July. I'll put links into our website. But the Sustainability Centre has all these courses on their website, and I think I found out the reason why they thought we might be interested, because they have a lot of various courses. A whole sort of chunk of them are on home and garden. They have things like sustainable cut flower growing, a kitchen garden course, clay oven building.
Oh my god, that one sounds interesting. I love that.
Well, mushroom cultivation, which we would
also
love,
very cool, which you wanted to do after we chatted with Layla Robinson. You decided to go psh, psh, with your little spritzer.
Yeah, Layla and her mushrooms. Well, I suspect they got in touch because we're always raving on about composting. So they have a course on composting. Also, your friend of mine, the composting toilet.
Oh, brilliant. You have gone on about this forever. I feel like that's a birthday present I should get you.
Learn how to design, build and manage your own back garden, indoor and outdoor composting toilet. That genuinely sounds like a really great course. So I mean, for me, look into
that's less my thing. I'd go for the clay oven. Building that sounds like a lot of fun. And
well, maybe you could go off and do that one, and I'll do the composting toilet one. I think I need to stop talking about composting toilets.
I think you do.
Anyway, it looks like a really good resource, so I'll put a link to that on our website and check out those courses, especially Tom Nielsen's, of course.
Of course.
Right, some other news. Did you know that the UK has started growing rice?
Rice is in the thing that goes in kind of water damp field.
Rice,
yes.
Wow. I don't know any other rice.
I don't know either.
So dozens of plants of 9 varieties of rice were planted in 4 mini paddy fields, dug out and flooded on a farm a few miles north of Ely in Cambridgeshire as an experiment. So it's the brainchild of the UK Centre of Ecology and Hydrology, the UKCEH, in partnership with Craig and Sarah Taylor, who owned the farm. And they have all sorts of varieties, including basmati, risotto and sushi rice.
Oh!
And it's an experiment to see what foods Britain could grow in the future without increasing temperatures and changing climate.
Interesting. Very cool. Gosh, that would be amazing if we could
and they've had some success. So they're doing all the different varieties to see which ones work best. And it's thought that, in the next 10 years, we could be having paddy fields growing our own rice, and it's sustaining the population.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be
very
cool.
Love that.
Right. This one will interest you.
Oh,
this
is
why
they all interest me.
You need to keep visiting that garden centre, because children raised in greener areas have higher IQ. So studies show children in greener neighbourhoods perform better on memory and attention and score 2.6 IQ points higher than their peers.
No way. I've tried so many times to do an IQ test and I cannot do it because by the time I finish the test, they then say, "Oh no, this isn't for free. You have to download or whatever."
Oh right, I thought it was just because your attention ran out. In which case, we totally have destroyed that research. Researchers in Barcelona have tracked thousands of school children and found that the more greenery around their classrooms, the better their working memory and attention. And in the Netherlands, kids raised in greener neighbourhoods scored higher on IQ tests. They also showed strong executive function, the brain's control system for planning and self-regulation. They found that regular exposure lowers cortisol, softens ADHD symptoms, and reduces behaviour struggles. So this just reinforces the need to have nature as much of a routine as eating and sleeping. It should be on the curriculum. It's so critical to the well-being of human beings.
Yeah, exactly. Completely and utterly. I mean, I know that just going to the garden centre, it's so nice. I'm also very, very lucky to have a view of greenery around me. I happen to be in a green space because I'm not in the centre. I'm quite on the outskirts of the city, so that's quite nice. I also happen to have a resident donkey nearby.
Yeah, well, the view's great, so funny. But you need to get in touch with it. So you need to get in amongst those trees that you can see, or certainly go to the garden centre and be around plants there.
Yeah, garden centre helps a
your
lot.
walk between your apartment and the garden centre, you've got quite a few trees on the way, haven't you?
I have, yes, actually.
What about your uni campus? There's quite a lot of greenery around that.
Uni campus, the main area, has a huge amount of greenery. Unfortunately, the medical side of the uni campus seems to be completely concrete.
Oh, no.
Which is very frustrating.
You do need to be more in touch with plants. I genuinely mean this. I know you've got all those things on your windowsill, which is brilliant.
Yeah,
but just
I
get out
shove a jungle on my windowsill.
Under trees would be really good.
It would be good.
Well, that's my No Way News. Do you have a plant fun fact for us this week, Sweetpea?
My fun fact is slightly crazy fun fact. I opened my book and I saw this and I was like, okay, how did this ever happen? It's called a snail water recipe.
Oh.
And it was in Margaret Wills's book, The Domestic Herbal, which is from 2020. And in there, she had a recipe dating back to 1660 of this snail water. And it was a recipe from the Duchess of Lauderdale. Apparently, this treatment was to be drunk 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and night, and was particularly good for weak children and old people.
Wait, what's the recipe?
Well,
I don't like the sound of this one bit.
You take as it says in Old English, take a pottle of snails and wash them in 2 or 3 waters. And then in small beer, I do not know what small beer is. I'm not good with my alcohols. Bruise them, shells and all. Then put them in a gallon of red cow's milk, rose leaves dried.
Red cow's milk? That sounds awful as well. This is horrific.
I know it sounds horrific. The whites cut of rosemary, sweet marjoram, and other kind of herbs. Distill them in cold water. And then put in white sugar candy.
Oh my goodness me. It just gets, when you think it can't get any worse, it does. Go and put some refined sugar in. That sounds horrific.
It's quite incredible what we used to do.
How did we come up with that?
Since when did that ever seem like a correct thing to do?
Gosh, thank God we've evolved a bit.
I know. And it just reminded me because obviously we have herbal teas and herbal drinks and everything. And this was a herbal remedy.
But minus the red cow's milk and snails.
Red cow's milk is from a specific type of cow, which
happens to
be kind of reddy tinged.
It's just, okay.
It's just creepy, isn't it? Anyway, so I'm sorry for that fun fact, but I just thought people should know about this.
It's important we all know about the snail's water. Well, my animal fun fact doesn't get any nicer, actually.
Oh, no.
Did you know that when a frog eats something toxic or indigestible, it throws up its entire stomach, just bleh, and gives it a wash.
Oh my gosh, I have seen this.
Oh, have you? And pops it back in again.
It's so funny. It's like you've gone with a sock and pulled it inside out and then just put it back again. It's so disgusting.
But it could be handy, couldn't it? Because if you ingested something toxic to be able to just bring your stomach out. I guess we throw up, don't we? And that's not necessarily healthy to be throwing up. But if you could just stick it all out there, wash it all off, tuck it back in.
Yeah,
Robert's your father's brother.
Go get it clean, go to the car wash and put it back in again. I do think that's a great mechanism of surviving though.
Yeah, you'd like that.
I would like that.
Well, Sweetpea, we should have a look at this episode of Gardener's World.
We should, yes.
This is Gardener's World 2025, episode 25, recap.
Off we go.
We're seeing Monty again at Longmeadow.
Yeah.
And he's trimming his mock privet, or
Filaria angustifolia. It's an evergreen. He said it's really nice to have the just nice shapes in the winter. I think
now's the time to cut it and then it'll maintain its shape. Apparently, I'd had a look at this plant. It's very good for coastal areas because it handles the salt spray and wind really well.
Oh, perfect, yes.
And as he said, it copes well with the heat and drought. So that's a good plant for the future, I'd say.
Really, really good plant. Yeah. We talked about other evergreens. Obviously, there's Larissa, there's box, there's yew, there's a holly. And then there's my tiny little topiary bull, which I hope is still surviving, which will be the one standing thing in the garden in wintertime. I can just see this little bull going, what are you guys doing? I'm still here.
And then Monty's at his doghouse with a gorgeous zinc water trough, which would be so nice to have, wouldn't it, if we had flat land?
So
I'd be getting those left, right and centre. Yes. And he's growing 2 white climbing roses. Did you get the names of those?
Yes, he had 2. Once he had Rosa cheek to cheek that he was putting in. And so obviously because it was so dry, it was almost like...
Oh, it was
sandy.
Unbelievable. Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Was
nothing.
Couldn't believe
it.
It
Was dust.
Yeah.
So he watered the hole that he dug, then put the plant in, then backfilled a little bit, watered more, let that drain, backfilled a bit more, watered again, let that drain. And of course, planting it away from the wall and then kind of leaning it into the wall.
Yeah, a foot or 2 away from the wall, so you can avoid it being under a gutter. Well, you know, when we put that wisteria in, the Chinese one, by the house.
Yes.
It definitely wasn't a foot or 2 away.
No, it was against the wall pretty much.
Cut it right back to try and kill it, but it won't die. No. It keeps shooting up. I'm worried about those roots. Oh. The other one's doing really well, which is near the veg garden. That's growing up a fence.
And that's pretty.
That'd be really nice. And that can do what it wants with its roots, really, can't it?
Exactly. So anyways, that's the top tip on planting away from the wall.
Then we see Rachel de Thame. We don't see her very often, do we? And she's going to another flower farm. This one's in Oxfordshire. Yes. And she talks about how there's a new trend in cut flowers of perennials rather than just annuals. And she's talking to Rachel Seigfried.
Yeah.
And Rachel started in 2008, growing mostly annuals. And she found she had a lot of crop failure with the annuals due to climate change, she said. So
it can be difficult.
She then started looking at perennials, and she has climbers, grasses. She still has tender perennials. And then she also has some annuals around the place as well.
Yeah, exactly. Which is, I think, it's nice to have some annuals because they do just give that warmth of flower.
Of course.
So I think it's nice, and like you'll just tend to some areas.
So which plants did you get?
Well, I mean, she had all sorts. She had climbers, she had grasses. There was Echinacea white swan, apparently really easy to divide. So that's one way you can just get flowers all the time because it's always there. I mean, even
year after year.
Yeah. Even the heads when they don't have all the petals on them.
Yeah.
These little spiky cones.
And really, she did also say that another thing she's found with perennials versus annuals is you don't need to stake or support the perennials.
No.
Whereas annuals you tend to need to do that more often.
I love that. It's why obviously borders are so much easier when you just plant purely perennials.
Yeah.
It's always the annuals that I have to tend to.
We actually have an interesting conversation about the perennial movement, which I didn't even know was a thing, on one of our upcoming chit-chats.
Yes.
So very knowledgeable guest.
Very
knowledgeable guest. So that'll be an interesting one.
Yes.
Look out for that.
Do.
There was also that gorgeous Helenium Luke. That two-tone one. Wasn't that stunning?
Know. Gorgeous ombre effect between the 2 tones.
Yeah.
That was
really
gorgeous.
Loved that.
Really, really liked that. She also had delphiniums from the New Millennium series, really pretty shades of kind of blue, some slightly going into the mauves.
Yeah. And RDT says you can have those you get a good kind of 10 years really out of them.
RDT? Oh, sorry, Rachel to Thame.
Rachel to Thame.
She's
RDT, especially here because they're both called Rachel.
The only time I've ever heard one like that is RDJ when they're talking about Robert Downey Jr. in something very different. But okay, RDT. Yes, Iron Man. RDT, yes. She also talked about the snowberry shrub as well, which was gorgeous. It had these cute little
delicate
berries, very delicate berries, and then the little white flowers, which pollinators loved. So I thought that's a must-have in the garden. New one. Also, there was an Abelia grandiflora with the long whips, also perfect for floristry, of course. There was Clematis Caillou with its beautiful bells.
Do you remember we saw that with Alla in the Ukraine?
Of course.
All her amazing clematis.
Think of her when I see a clematis in the bell form.
She's the clematis queen, isn't she?
Yeah, of course she is. she boshed it, and so it was. Yeah, of course I thought of her. And then, of course, there was Pennisetum villosum, Northern Sea Oats. These are good grasses. And I liked putting grasses in flower arrangements. I used them more towards the autumn time because there wasn't much else out in the garden.
That's something about the garden, actually, Sweetpea. This year, the summer, really, there wasn't an awful lot of colour in our garden, was there? I think it was just too hot. It's now going for it. We have so much colour. This is its time to shine.
Crikey, it's the temperatures are just about level.
Lovely temperature things. Now. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Lovely. And then at the end, they showed us some pretty arrangements with Rosa Glauca in there. Rose Stefan Rouleau, Hollyhocks, Parkley, and Macleia as well. And it gave a nice kind of burgundy to pale pastel pinks, which I really like the two together. I love that combo.
Well, Rachel, not RDT, but the other Rachel.
The other one.
She is in Wallingford in Oxfordshire and has green and gorgeous flowers, 5 acres of it, which she runs with her partner, Ashley. And she also has her own website. So often I've found these cut flower businesses don't have their own website. They just go through that Flowers from the Farm portal. You know, the one that we talk about. So that's usually how you can find them. You can find her on that, but she also has a lovely website as well.
Oh, gorgeous, yes.
And she has written a book. It's available on Amazon. It's called The Cut Flower Source Book, Exceptional Perennials and Woody Plants for Cutting. Ooh. And interestingly, it has really great reviews apart from some stick in the mud who's saying flowers too small are like big flowers. And that's why he or she gave a 1 star for that. But all the other reviews
There's always someone doing that.
Yeah, you can't please all the people all the time.
But she's still nailing it.
We have Ned chilling by Mont's side.
Yeah.
Monty's got a very soft voice, hasn't he? And you can almost see Ned. Ned comes plodding over and then just collapses to the dulcet tones of Monty. I think it just must be very calming for him.
I think so. I wonder how Monty gets angry because I can't picture it for some reason.
No, I can't.
Some people, you just can't picture them releasing the anger from within.
Yeah, what do you think he does?
I can just imagine he goes into the garden all the way to the other side and you just hear
Anyway, he's at his cut flower beds and he says he's got a lot of annuals and he starts showing some of the little seedlings.
Yeah, the little seedlings. He had some Nigella and cornflowers which had just set seed from obviously the plants beforehand, and he was like, sure, I'll have some of these in there as well.
Yep.
As well as Ammi and Scabious. Scabious yet to come up, but they're always a bit slow, I found, when having seedlings.
And then in another bed he has his wallflowers, which are biennials, and he sowed those in April. And he's gonna, you remember how he puts them in pots with his tulips, and then he's also putting some in the dual garden. Then we go over to Glyndebourne Opera House in East Sussex, and this is a dye garden. I really enjoyed this. I find it so interesting, and I know you will have loved this because you are into your dye plants, aren't you? And
so
you taught me about plants with tinctoria or tink in the name.
Tinctorum.
They're for dyeing.
Exactly. It's so fascinating.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Andrea Benson's growing the plants for the costume department, and Jenny Mercer is the dye room supervisor in the costume department. And they kind of came together. It was a meeting of minds over this. Jenny went on a weekend course about dyeing, and came back to Andrea and said, this is what I'd like to do. And Andrea was like, okay, let's do this.
Sounds good.
And they've worked really well together, it seems, and they've done trial and error. So Andrea was talking about how different plants, whilst they can give a lot of colour and be really great, they might have lots of flowers on them. They just are an absolute pain to pick because they're small little flowers.
God, yeah, you can imagine.
And you want to go with the more practical option, don't you, if you're doing this on a bigger scale?
Yeah, absolutely. You want the big stems, the big flowers, and they're just done.
And what I love is how these dyes are used for the costumes for all the operas. And we do get to see in Jenny's workshops I love the muted colours that they produce. I am about sort of bold and brash.
I do
often
like
with colours. That's what cheers me up. But
of course,
it's very pleasing on the eye to look at those colours. They're soft and really lovely.
They are really, really gorgeous, and it just kind of. I like the kind of pale oranges as well. They're my favourites.
Of course they are.
Of course.
So Andrea's set up the dye garden within the fenced area where they also have all the veg, their cut flowers and herbs. And then they talk about some of the flowers that they use. Did you get those?
So there was, and most of these I hadn't heard before, except for the dyes chamomile, because that's kind of like a notorious dye plant. Cota tinctoria obviously gives off that kind of, it depends what kind of colour, it depends what cloth you have, which colour it gives.
Yeah.
So it can go to almost acid yellow to a very pale sunny yellow. Yeah. So it can really vary. I think that's also what's quite fun, is seeing what different fabrics
for sure
take up this dye. So that one's a lovely one. Then there's madder, I didn't know about, which gives a really nice red dye, obviously slightly toned down. Marigolds, obviously orange shades, my favourite, and deadhead really easily.
Yep.
So that's
flowers.
Great. Yeah. Then there are the kind of three sisters. There's Weld, Woad, and Madder, obviously. Madder being red, Woad being blue, and Weld being yellow. And that's the biennial, so wait for the second year for the flowers, for then drying. And then there was Japanese indigo, which it's the leaves that give the colour.
Yeah.
That would be so hard to know whether it's the leaf or the flower, because you'd just look and you'd be like, which part of the plant do I go for?
Yeah. Well, I guess you learn from history or you trial and error it, don't you?
You trial and error it. Because I learned this about avocados. The skin and the stone, they give a pink dye.
Oh, yes.
When you kind of boil them up.
Yes.
So how did you figure that out? But it's like all this trial and error. You've got to figure out the different
well, I guess it's like they tried out the snail water and thought, actually, this probably isn't great. But using the stone and skin of an avocado, that does work well. So
yeah, okay. Very true.
Figure it out. Write it down. See what sticks.
They also had dahlias, obviously can give a kind of orangey colour. And then there was Coreopsis tinctoria, mahogany midget.
Well, that was the one that just took too long to harvest.
Too difficult to harvest. Very, very pretty. Now, I had, if I remember correctly the name, it was Coreopsis tinctoria roulette wheel.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that one.
And it gives it's a beautiful plant. It's gorgeous just as a plant. And it gives these nice stripes on the petals between yellow and red.
Like a roulette wheel. It's a good description of it.
Exactly. It's a great description. And that's also a dye plant. Haven't yet used it because most of the time when it would flower, it gave me like one or two flowers because they were small plants. I did them from seed.
Right.
And so I was like, I can't do anything to you guys. I'm going to leave you on the plant.
It's so difficult picking flowers from a garden, isn't it? I
so
just like
hard.
them where they are.
Yeah. You're just like, they could last for a lot longer on the plant.
Well, then Andrea and Jenny show us the process. So Andrea dries all the plants, all the flower heads in their propagating units there. She lays all the flowers out in trays, and she can do it in the summer. Yeah. When she does it, then they dry within a couple of days.
Exactly, yeah.
And then Jenny takes the dried flowers, she boils them up, she then strains them out, and then puts them in another clean vat and puts her fabric in. Yeah. And she was using a piece of silk that she simmered for an hour, which was a long time. I wouldn't have thought it would be that long. I did wonder why she was wearing a mask at the boiling stage. I wonder what that was for.
Oh, very interesting, yeah.
I can't think why you'd need one.
I do also wonder how they keep the colour. Because obviously when washing the garments. Because that has always been what I've been worried about when dyeing, is that I'd just wear it, be like all happy, and then just all the dye would come off in the wash or something. And I remember looking it up. I cannot remember because it just seemed a long thing to do, just fixing it.
There's some sort of fixing
agent. Agent. And I'd be interested to know if they use a fixing agent or if it's just purely kind of, there we go. And hope
I guess these costumes aren't getting washed a huge amount, are they?
No, I can't remember. No, because they're not just day-to-day costumes. They're for the opera.
Great big flouncy things, aren't they?
Exactly, yeah.
Well, I loved the chat between Andrea and Jenny at the end. And they talk basically about how well they work together. And Andrea says she didn't realise there was even a dyeing department there. She just assumed the costumes came out in the colours they were meant to be. And she kind of laughs as if that was an unreasonable thing to think. I would just assume that. Who knew?
Exactly.
Well, Glyndebourne is obviously this opera house, and I remember going to see Carmen with some friends many years ago. This was when I was a teenager at the Royal Opera House at Covent Garden. And I remember taking the tube with this group of friends. There were probably about 6 of us, all girls. And I'd never been to an opera, and we turned up at this place. I can't even remember how it came about. I think a friend's parents had thought it'd be a nice idea, but none of the girls were really interested, in all honesty.
I mean, you ask kids to go to an opera, it's a bit like,
Well, I was one of those kids, and I do remember getting in there, and then as soon as the orchestra struck up and the singing started, I was transported to this unbelievable world where every emotion hit me. I felt so overwhelmed by how stunning the music was and how it just enveloped me. I just felt completely like a big blanket of music had been wrapped around me. And this is given that, I'm really into Guns N' Roses, don't mind a bit of Metallica,
a bit of Green Day.
I like all sorts of music. But I do really love opera, and I'm so desperate to take you to an opera. And I think this could be the place to take you, Sweetpea, because obviously it's beautiful, a beautiful opera house. They're the beautiful gardens, but they do a festival every summer between May to August.
Oh, yeah.
Where you can go and watch the opera in the auditorium, and then there's a 90-minute interval.
90-minute? Wow.
What the heebie-jeebies am I going to do with 90 minutes?
That's a long time.
I hear you say. Well, they put on a picnic in the gardens. So you can either take your own picnic if you've got a smaller budget, or they will provide you with a picnic. They will even provide you with waiter service for your picnic if you like. And you can just choose where you want to be in these gardens, and you can either sit at tables and chairs or on a blanket and have this picnic served between the first and second half of the opera. I'm not sure that's what they call it.
I mean, yeah.
Doesn't that sound amazing?
That sounds like such a fun day out.
Yeah, absolutely. In 2026... the festival kicks off with Puccini's Tosca. That's on the 21st of May to 22nd of June, and then the 4th to the 30th of August.
Oh, I might be able to go.
I mean, there's 6 of them.
Okay,
there's
so
also
6 possibilities.
Yeah, Mozart's Die Einführung aus dem Serai.
No, don't need to do the weird
31st of July to 28th of August. So I was thinking, if you have finished exams and all sorts of things going on in your life at that point,
that sounds like a good
maybe we could get
out.
over there. I think that would be, I mean, we'd have to stay over, it's quite far, but we could make a weekend of it or something like that.
Ooh, spa weekend.
Doesn't that sound good? And then just one positive to the whole COVID debacle. In 2020, so obviously times of social distancing, they did garden concerts, which for me would be even better.
Oh my God, that sounds
right
amazing.
up my Bahnhofstrasse. So you would, they'd have some opera singing outside, they'd have concerts going on. Absolutely wonderful in those gardens.
That sounds absolutely bliss. How beautiful would that be?
Monty says he tried dye plants. It ended not in failure, it just sort of dribbled out.
Yeah,
his
petered
words.
out. Exactly, dribbled out. Good term.
And then he's got his wallflower fire king, and that's going into the jewel garden. Exactly. I didn't know it was part of the brassica family, so it's also susceptible to flea beetle like your cabbages are.
But actually, thinking about it, the flower is very similar to brassica flowers.
And then he's talking about bulbs. So daffs, crocuses, camassias, they can all go in the ground now. And then obviously tulips are a bit later on in the year, aren't they? We do those really December time.
Yeah, we do. But he said because the ground is just so kind of rock solid,
rock hard.
He's planting his into pots. So he had the pheasant's eye daffodil.
But he'll plant those out as late as March, he said, into the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
Then we go to Kerry and Neil in Okehampton, Devon. I think their surname is Littleales. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, Littleales or Littleales. Anyway.
Who knows?
I like Neil's quote, which is, "I can do whatever I want as long as Kerry lets me." Which sounds completely reasonable, Kerry.
Sounds very, very reasonable. Sounds exactly how I feel.
And I would say Neil is a man with dad jokes in abundance, wouldn't you? I reckon.
Oh my gosh. You're a mum with dad jokes in abundance.
Gosh,
I'm sorry.
I love mum jokes. They're just brilliant. So
I get
all for this. But I sense that when their children are around, I reckon there's a lot of one-liners coming from him and a lot of groans from the kids, the adult kids. Saying,
and a lot of rolling of eyes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, the other day you sent me literally out of the blue. I was in the middle of lectures, got a message saying, "I would tell you a joke about sodium, but nah." I can't believe I could just see you on the other end chuckling to yourself, Greg.
Yeah, loved it. Anyway, back to Kerry and Neil.
Yeah.
They were police officers and they've now retired. And so they decided to move to Devon, get a place with just under an acre.
Yes.
Devon grassland it was. It was a lovely blank canvas. The dream.
It was the dream. It's quite amazing going from being police officers to gardening. Very, very different.
Yeah, completely different. Kerry has always loved gardening. She used to love helping her mum when she was little. And then Neil's granddad was his inspiration. He was a produce gardener, so he grew everything they needed to eat.
Yes,
and then,
as well as bonsais.
Well, yes, and Neil's dad developed a love for bonsais.
Yeah.
And that's where Neil gets that from, and he's got his whole bonsai garden, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Did you like his tools?
I did love his tools of the little fork for the little rake and then a
bent
half...
fork.
A bent fork and then a snipped off the top of a butter knife or just a normal knife, and for that to go around the pot to loosen it a bit.
He's been at that cutlery drawer, hasn't he?
I
wonder what the rest of the drawer looks like.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So Kerry's the plantaholic and Neil builds things and digs.
Exactly.
Perfect relationship.
And he tries to build what Kerry is telling him.
Yeah. She comes up with ideas and he tries to implement them.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes it's a bit difficult because, I mean, sometimes you can go, "I want waterfalls and cascading bits," and you're like, not possible.
Well, something that did work was their wizard walk, because they wanted a shady area.
Gorgeous,
and that was from Kerry's idea. And on the shady side, they have hostas, and on the other side, it was wisteria and campsis.
Yeah, exactly. And she could go and put in a different plant if she needed to, if the hosta seemed to be munched, because they kind of had the pots in the ground, so she'd just kind of plonk it in.
Oh, with the pots in the ground?
I think I saw pots in the ground.
Oh, I didn't see
or at least
that. Okay.
The inserting of said plant into the ground looked very easy, like there was already
didn't it?
hole.
Yeah. So she replaced a hosta with a brunnera, but we didn't find out what she did with that hosta afterwards.
No, I wonder if they have the sad yard that we have out back of all
the plant graveyard. But I mean, it looked perfectly fine apart from some holes in it.
Yeah, just cut off those
surely,
leaves,
take it somewhere safe from the slugs and bring it back to life.
Yeah, exactly. But they don't use slug pellets because, I mean, the birds are there, frogs are there.
Never a good idea.
It's never a good idea. And then also they had the beautiful white garden, which just kind of happened because they got some old paving from friends and they were like, "Oh, well, this can be a circle."
It seemed like a complete surprise to them, didn't it?
It's so
just
funny.
Happened without them knowing.
Oh, crikey, that's happening. And then they just thought, "Oh, nice calm plants." And as we've heard before, white gardens, it's actually predominantly green. Green is the most pleasing colour to one's eye. And then obviously there's tints of white, but you don't want it to be kind of overbearing either, so it's like stark white. So they had Hebe, white campanulas, gladioli, penstemon, cosmos, roses.
Very pretty. Isn't it just such a joy seeing people get so much joy from their garden? It's really lovely to see.
It's so nice. And also getting joy as a couple, I think, is so nice as well, because it's nice to be able to chat with someone and go, oh my gosh, did you see this? Or crikey, what was going on here? Or it's fun to chat about.
What a great way to spend their retirement. Well, happily, Kerry and Neil's garden is open through the NGS.
Oh, fantastic.
Not currently, of course, it's end of the season, but I'll put a link to their page on the NGS site. I'll put that onto our website.
Fantastic.
They also have a Facebook page called Making Maui, and you can follow their progress through that page. So I'll put a link to that on our website as well.
Brilliant.
Then we're back with Monty, and suddenly the heavens have opened, haven't they? We went from this very sunny garden, Neil and Kerry's, and then we see poor Monty. It's absolutely peeing down.
Absolutely peeing down.
And Monty's looking at his peach. He's got some fluffiness, some speckling on the leaves, and those are spider mite.
Spider mite, yes, not great. And they like to kind of hibernate, I suppose, in shelter in small nooks and crannies. So the bamboo canes, which obviously are hollow and have kind of cracks, so you can
lovely place
get in there. Perfect. So he's getting rid of the bamboo canes, and taking those down. And then also he had cucumbers, which had a kind of mottled spider mite in them. So luckily, since they were over, he was just taking them out, cutting them down.
So interesting that the humidity was too low. So they like it dry, so your best bet is to spray the floor really to keep of your greenhouse to keep the humidity up, and that helps prevent them.
The amount of times I've remembered in the past chucking just a bucket of water onto the ground in the greenhouse to keep the humidity, because it can be so crispy dry in there sometimes.
Of course.
Like, oh crikey, okay. And then finally his pumpkins and squashes, which are looking good, had whitefly on the underneath of the leaves. So you have to do it anyways to get as much sunlight to the fruit. So he was just stripping back the leaves.
Yeah, we need to do that with ours. When I say we I need to do that with ours. And then we go with Adam Frost to visit the private gardens at Mount St John in Thirsk.
Oh my gosh. I love how we had the exact same response to this. Adam, I wish I was in your shoes.
I wish I was in his shoes. Now, I absolutely loved how they presented this segment with Adam standing at that green door.
Oh my God.
It looked like a green door that was going into a house. It opened up and there was this burst of music and the camera panned through and flew past Adam, and you just see this stunning garden, and then the drone took the camera off and up and you see those views. I always say how I want to be by the sea for views, but I would settle in inverted commas for that. That was spectacular, and you wouldn't have to worry about salt wind and the maintenance of your house.
Exactly. I just know that everyone in Gardeners watching Gardeners World was just like jaw drop.
So this was designed by Tom Stewart Smith, who we've heard he also developed the plan for RHS Bridgewater.
Yes.
And we meet head gardener Tim Marshall. And Adam and he have a wander and talk about some of the plants. Tim points out the Dianthus carthusianorum, which Adam helpfully says, they either seem to work or not work. And that kind of covers most bases, doesn't it?
It does. I would say nailed it. That is exactly what every plant does.
And what other plants did you get?
There was also Eupatorium, Achilles, and Malvas as well that they walked past.
Yeah.
But they were just these beautiful herbaceous borders.
Well,
perfect.
We get that bird's eye view of all those geometrical terraces.
Oh,
stunning.
How stunning.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the thing with this is it was going so far towards what my dream garden would be.
Yes.
It was quite scary to see something I'd so thought about in my head actually be possible.
Because you're on a slope, so that gives you the beauty of the views, which is what the nice thing about being on a hill. You know, whilst we whinge on about being on a hill, our views are lovely.
Yeah.
So that you get that, but these beautifully constructed, they'll be as solid as a rock, I imagine, really well made, not like our dodgy terraces.
No,
proper terraces, so you still get to walk on some flatness.
Yeah.
Which is all I want to feel, is just I can't remember what it's like to stand on something flat.
I know.
It was, absolutely beautiful. And Tim says the maintenance is really quite straightforward. It's a case of making sure you're fairly weed-free at the beginning of the season, and then you just let everything romp away, he said. They don't really do much in the way of tying in or supports.
No, I can't imagine. The planting didn't look hard. Like I can... when you walk past a border, you can kind of look and go, oh, crikey, that looks like it's quite a bit of work. You can see stakes and you can see certain plants just
too much,
wanting to do mischievous stuff. And then you can walk past some and just go, whoa, that just flows, that's easy, that's nice.
Well, with this one, he said it just gets left right through till the end of January, and then they do a cutback. Makes it sound so incredibly easy.
Bliss. And also in another area on one of those terraces, there were all these beach balls.
Oh, yes.
Really pretty. I liked that. And there were also some box topiary in place as well.
And then over the hedge and down in the valley, there are those 3 ponds that cascade into one another. And it's absolutely stunning. It is very different, equally wonderful. I would want all of the above. This is just what I would like, please.
Having these 3 kind of lagoons, these
amazing.
They're just stunning. It's something that you like see in a film and you're like, oh my gosh, that's obviously a green screen,
isn't it? Yeah. Well, Jake Clarke, he's another member of the team, he tells us that those ponds are originally stock ponds from 1,000 years ago when it was a monastic settlement.
Yeah.
And Jack's been there 7 years. He started in 2018 as a volunteer, and he volunteered for 2 years before he then got a full-time job. What an absolute dream.
Incredible.
He just must walk into work with a big smile on his face every day.
I mean, he just must be so zen, as Adam said. You must just be the most at ease guy in the world.
Although he did say at one point, day to day, it's always on the brink of chaos, and I just love that.
I can imagine. I can just see one plant going 3.
I'm out of here.
1. Pizzazz!
And that's it. It's balancing those ornamentals with the more naturalistic planting in that area.
Exactly, because they got all these beautiful old trees, so you kind of want it to look like it's just abandoned and you found it.
And as with all planting right now, the climate has to be considered. So with the summer, as it has been, those damp-loving plants are needing to be reconsidered going forward.
Absolutely.
And I love how Adam says, I've also concluded that I want Jack's job.
I concluded I want Jack's job.
Absolutely on the same page. I concluded the same, Adam.
The best
absolutely
job
breathtaking.
Ever. I also concluded that if I'm going to have a huge garden, I want to be able to do my morning walks round my own land.
Wow, can you imagine?
That's how I need to have it. If I'm
You'd
going to have
never have to see a human being ever again.
Exactly.
You would, though, because you'd want Jack there and you'd want Tim there. Yeah. So you'd have to see those human beings, but that's okay.
To see those guys. But they're nice guys. So I don't
They are. Well, it's a private garden owned by Chris Blundell and family.
Oh my gosh, lucky family.
Very lucky. Chris is formerly director of Morrison's, the supermarket chain.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And that supermarket was started by his uncle, Sir Ken Morrison. Gotcha. And Chris is a trustee with the Royal Horticultural Society. And he also, although he oversees the garden, he set it up so that it feeds the kitchens of a hotel group that he is chairman of, Provenance Inns. So there are a number of these hotels that you get all their produce from that garden.
Oh, that's lovely. I want to go to that hotel.
Well, interesting you said that, Sweetpea, because for £250 you can book 2 nights at the Carpenter Arms, but maybe a treat one day for a special birthday.
A birthday.
And for £250 for 2 nights, and this is what you get: a private evening garden tour of Mount St John Estate, followed by a 3-course dinner with produce from that garden with a welcome drink, overnight stay in one of their perfectly appointed in-house or garden rooms, a gift on arrival, and a full breakfast on the morning of departure.
Oh my gosh, I want the gift and I want the breakfast. That sounds amazing.
I want the gift and I want the breakfast.
Oh, that sounds like a good present.
Yeah, doesn't it? So maybe it's something we think about. But also, head gardener Tim Marshall is rather interesting. His career is extraordinary. So he's been working in horticulture for 30 years. Yeah, this is so interesting. He started at Scampston Hall in North Yorkshire, working with Piet Oldorf, who we know.
Oh, yeah.
transforming the wall garden there. Then he moved to the Holcombe Estate in North Norfolk as head gardener first, and then was promoted to landscape manager. Then he worked with Tom Stewart Smith on a project near Henley. Then he worked in Jordan with Arnie Maynard to help regenerate the private garden of the King and Queen of Jordan.
Jeez Louise.
Then he returned to the UK to work on the Dalesford Estate as the garden manager. That very expensive farm shop.
Very.
We visited and nearly died when we got the bill. Then he went to the island of Nevis in the Caribbean to work on another Arnie Maynard project. Then popped back to Jordan for another project. Then he finally returned to the UK, and a couple of jobs later, here he is.
He must just so enjoy his bed when he gets back from all that travelling back and forth and just finally lie down.
Monty's collecting his Sweetpea seed pods, and he's drying them, and he'll sow them in the next month. And then he's showing us how he sows them into deep pots. We've seen him do this lots of times. We use loo rolls, the cardboard from the centre of a loo roll.
Really easy.
Really easy, and you can just take the whole cardboard roll with the soil and the Sweetpea in it and stick it in the ground.
Yeah, exactly. So easy.
And what were the name of the Sweetpeas?
Janet Scott. And they were pale pink.
And then we have jobs for the weekend. So harvest chilies.
Yes.
I had to get a whole batch of your chilies, Sweetpea. I'll put a photo on our Instagram. They were looking really good.
Oh, wow.
And they've tasted really good as well.
Oh, that's good.
I have saved a couple for you, though, don't worry.
Oh, thank you. Hopefully they're safe.
Repair lawns and cut back herbs.
Yes, very, very important.
What was your favourite plant?
I couldn't choose. Can I just go with all the dye plants?
Yeah.
They were all really cool, and I want to try out all of them now.
Okay.
And what was yours?
Well, mine was the Helenium Luke.
Oh,
two-tone
of course,
Helenium.
Two-tone.
Yeah, Rachel Seigfried's place.
Very nice.
And your top takeaway?
Top takeaway was using kitchen cutlery for bonsais.
Oh, great.
With the bent fork and the chopped off knife. Very, very nice. I
like that.
Do like not recycling.
Touch our cutlery. I will hit the roof if you do that.
I know you will.
Well, mine was all the dyeing with the plants.
All the dyeing.
I thought that was brilliant.
I mean, it was just brilliant. We love that.
So next week, and it is next week this time.
It is next week. Oh, thank the Lord.
3rd of October. So Francis Tophill is back at Damson Farm in the Somerset countryside to revel in the atmosphere and abundance in an autumn garden.
Lovely.
There are ornamentals and edibles to harvest, and in the meadow there are seeds aplenty. She shares evergreen planting ideas for shady corners and adds a touch of late seasonal interest to beds and borders. In the Peak District, Wrecker Mystery reaps the rewards of her labour in a productive kitchen garden, and Nick Bailey takes a deep dive into plant science and the kaleidoscope of colour. I'm going to enjoy that.
Oh my gosh, that sounds interesting.
There's a beautiful family garden in Kent that became a sanctuary during the darkest of times, plus an entomologist in Edinburgh who is passionate about conserving insects and their native habitats.
Very cool. Looking forward to it.
Well, if you want to get in touch, here's how.
If you have any questions, feedback or comments, you can get in touch with us on our contact page at notjustagarden.co.uk or via our email, which is notjustagarden@outlook.com, or you can even find us on Facebook or Instagram and come visit us there and hit the follow button. And if you enjoyed this episode, it would mean the world if you could post a 5-star review. It really helps our podcast climb up the pile. If you didn't enjoy it, bigger polls from us, and please don't. For more Sweetpea and Bear content, including videos, blogs, guest garden lists, early access to episodes, podcast outtakes, which are great, and community chats, come join us on our Patreon. You can find a link on our website.
Sweetpea, this must be your dinner time now.
Oh my gosh, it is my dinner time.
Are you starving?
No, I'm all right. I'm going to have a little nibble, then I'm going to whack my head onto that pillow, which looks so good right now.
Good.
Gosh, when you're a student, your bed has never looked as nice.
Well, sleep well tonight, Sweetpea. I'm sure I'll speak to you tomorrow.
Absolutely. Of course, you'll be hearing everything, and I'll be getting your mum jokes as per usual.
Of course. Bye-bye, Sweetpea.
Bye, Mummy Bear.